Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. You'll get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And when I'm not asking Bruce, hey, how big was Batista's? Well, you know. One of the things I like to do is help people save money. And if you're watching this video right now and you're in a 30-year loan, man, you're overpaying your single biggest bill and you may not even realize it. I want you to do a little experiment for me. Take your calculator out, multiply your monthly house payment by 360 payments. That's how many payments there are in a 30-year loan. That big scary number, that's your total of payments. You're looking at that number? You know you can do better. Keep more of your own money right now and go to savewithconrad.com. Or maybe you've got credit card debt. Man, it's not a matter of if I can save you money with that. Your average interest rate on a credit card is more than 20%. And by the way, all the interest you pay on those credit cards, it's not tax deductible. Whereas the mortgage interest, well, that is tax deductible. So if you owe this debt, it's up to you how to pay it back. Doesn't it make sense to get the cheapest rate possible and the greatest tax deduction possible? Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. Even scores in the 500s can be approved, and it's no cost out of pocket. But maybe best of all, we're licensed in more than 40 states. We can help more families than ever before. But how much can we save you? Find out right now for free with a quick quote from savewithconrad.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Welcome to WHW Monday. Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
Jim Crockett First Arcade, 605 NWA. TV title, Cajun Omni, the Bunkhouse Stampede. Flair and Horseman, Garvin, Bogey, Magnum, Dusty, Express Tag Team. Turner, Bodden, Mid-South Joint World Championship Wrestling.
Talking about the great years of World Championship Wrestling, the NWA, and Jim Crockett Promotions.
Tony and Friends North, they win. Look, Schiavone's back again. World title split off center stage. Bischoff, Disney, Hogan, and Nitro. New World Order and the Crow. Thunder, Russo, Arquette, Champ, Vinnie, Mack, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh. Lowest rules, cat back. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a tip. Tommy, you come over here.
What happened when? WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's up, Conrad? How you doing in Alabama?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm happier than a puppy with two Peters. It is a great day to be alive.
A puppy with two Peters?
Yep.
That's pretty happy.
It is.
Yeah. So, well, good. I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad things are great. On we go forward through this pandemic. Hope everybody is safe. Glad you could listen to What Happened When. Thank you very much for all the kind words about saying how much we entertain you when times are down. We sincerely appreciate that. I know we do a lot of silly, well, Conrad does a lot of silly shit.
Oh.
But I really do appreciate all the kind words about, you know, you've pulled us out of the depressive times. You've put a smile on our face. And for those of you who have really had tragedies and really had bad things happen in your life to communicate to us, thank you very much.
Well, and we hope that we're going to bring a smile to your face today because we've got a very special episode, something that you never saw, Tony. This is when you turned your back on professional wrestling completely and had become a bitter old man. What?
It's when professional wrestling turned its back on me. Okay.
No, I mean, I remember you being booked for TNA and you only did one shot and said, fuck this, and left.
Right. Well, this is when I turn my back on professional wrestling.
May 19th, 2003. It's a really, really special show. As someone who grew up in the business rather, with such fondness and appreciation for the Nature Boy, I know you're going to love this episode. Really a special moment. It's been nicknamed A Night in Greenville. What we want you to do is fire up your Monday Night Raw on the WWE Network. Go to the Raw tab and then select 2003. Scroll down. You'll see May 19th. when you get to that, go ahead and click it and then maybe turn your closed captions on, but certainly turn your volume off. And here in a few minutes, we'll get a little countdown and we'll get going on this. But Tony, I feel like we should right off the top, go ahead and tell everybody what they're in store for next week. I sort of teased your only TNA appearance. That's coming up in 2 weeks. Next week though, after celebrating Ric Flair in Greenville, we're going to bury him on Nitro. It was May 22nd, 2000. You guys did a Flair funeral on Nitro. And then the following week, we'll talk about your one and only appearance in TNA. May is going to be a fun month here on the program.
Yes. If you are a member of Patreon, we got a couple of bonus podcasts for you. And I think we're going to do a bonus podcast, for those of you, on,
adfreeshows.com.
Adfreeshows.com. Absolutely. And of course, our friends that follow us on Westwood One, we obviously have a great May planned, and Conrad has taken the time to kind of look out the entire year. We got some great stuff for the remainder of 2020. So we hope you'll be with us the entire time. I just, I think one of the things that excites me about getting ready to do the show is the fact that, is Bischoff in the show?
I believe so.
Okay. This is when Bischoff went to the WWE, obviously. And I remember watching his entrance because Scott Hudson had called me and told me, hey, Eric is going to be on Raw tonight. Because, Scott's plugged into all that stuff.
Sure.
So I tuned it in and watched him walk into Raw and then immediately said, nah, fuck it, and turned it off. So that was the only exposure I had at all to wrestling during my time off, so to speak. And I've always wondered how they used him and what they did. And I'll be interested to see in 2003 how they used him. Did he start in 2003 or did he start before then?
No, he started before then.
Yeah, he kind of started not too far removed after we went out of business, I think.
Well, it should have been in 2001, but it wasn't. It was 2002.
Oh, okay.
But still, I mean, him leading the invasion would have been tremendous. I mean, it would have been cool if they would have had you come out there and do commentary during those matches and all that. But, that's a story for another time when they really fucked everything up. But we're not fucking things up on patreon.com/WHW Monday. Tony, tell them about the 2 bonus shows we've already got in the can for this month.
The 2 bonus shows we already got in the can for this month are, I don't remember.
But they were great. God damn it. Let's just tell
they were the best we've ever done.
Oh,
they were so fucking good. I can't remember them.
Dude, that really tickles me. As a reminder, what we talked about was Dustin Rhodes coming out as 7.
That's right.
And
yes.
the powers that be, of course, gave up on this character, but
yes.
He's out here talking about gold dust and being the natural, but he floats to the ring. Sort of one of the forgotten moments of Nitro. And then we watched maybe my favorite match ever, WrestleMania 13, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret the Hitman Hart. We did a double turn, just a tremendous show. You had never seen that match. And I think on the other side, you agree with me, one of the best matches ever.
Yeah, it was. And after we had recorded it, for you, our friends in Patreon, it's already in the can, yet to be downloaded, but it's coming up here pretty soon. After we did that, I took a ride with JR from Atlanta to Jacksonville. And I told him, I said, Conrad and I just watched the Austin Bret Hart match. He went, from WrestleMania 13. I went, yep. And of course he lended his 2 cents into that. And
he said it was one of the best shits ever.
Yes, he did. And we talked about how great Austin was and how great of a, he and JR still communicate, how they've become very good friends. And it's great stuff, man. I agree. It's the Steve Austin match with Bret Hart is tremendous.
Well, go out of your way.
Yeah, I do remember it now.
Well, here's the deal. You and we're doing so much bonus content that we're getting ahead, and it all sort of runs together because we're just overwhelming you at patreon.com/WHW Monday. And coming soon to ad-free shows, working on something pretty special for that road trip between Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. Stay tuned. Adfreeshows.com is going to have your hookup. But right now, We want you to hook up that WWE Network. May 19th, 2003, a very special edition of Monday Night Raw. You've never seen this. And, man, you want to talk about a special show, especially if you're a Ric Flair fan. I think you're going to be all into this one, Tony. I really do.
I think so too. And we probably got some pretty good interviews that we can track and listen to together.
That's become something that people online really love when you and I yell, track it.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of things a lot of just things that we think are just subtle shit that fans really pick up on.
I'm not mad at it.
No, I'm not either. It means they're listening. So I appreciate it.
Well, Tony, without further ado, you reckon we could get, Lois to, put down Facebook and pick up our countdown?
I have a feeling that she won't put down Facebook. She'll walk over here and go 3, 2, 1 with her phone in her hand while looking at Facebook.
All right.
Okay. Come on over here, girl. There you go. Stand right. Wow. 38 years of marriage. You've never looked better.
Okay, hold on. 3, 2, 1, play.
The old signature open here. Track it. I know you don't get that, Tony, but once upon a time they would feed in the live crowd right there. So they would flash a picture off a barrack and the fans would go, boo. And then they'd flash Stone Cold. Yay.
It was Vince's way of shitting on WCW again.
Oh no, it's not.
Of course it is.
No,
absolutely.
These guys are co-general managers.
But still, I mean, it's, if you take that out, anyway, that's just old paranoid Tony talking.
Boy, you got a real hard on. Oh, speaking of hard ons. Man, they knew how to open a show, didn't they?
Man, they did. This was a it's overused golden era. I'm not going to say that, but this was a great time. And you know what, was Raw on TNN then?
You know, I forget if they're on USA, if they've already moved to TNN here. I knew they were moving at some point, but I didn't think that happened.
I think it is. I think it is. Right. And the reason I think they had is that
they kicked ECW off. Yeah.
Right. I've got my closed caption on and I saw TNN come across.
That's exactly right. They're here at TNN.
Yeah. It's amazing to look at this. And I think about how wrestling has over the years transformed. You know, the Crockett days, it was smaller. We Greenville Memorial Auditorium, Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium, Shelby, the Army, where the Rock and Roll Express won the World Tag Team Championship, Salisbury, North Carolina, high school gyms, college gyms, small college gyms. And now look at this in the Crockett territory in 2003. Just say what you want to about Vince. And a lot of people have said, but he changed wrestling, didn't he?
Yeah, certainly. And I think some of our listeners would argue that he changed it for the worse, but most would agree that he changed it for the better. I mean, it certainly, you know, and don't get me wrong. I miss the old stuff too, but guys are making more money with Vince than anywhere else ever. So you just look at the number of millionaires that Vince created.
Yeah.
And, I think that tells the story.
Well, I think about the old days and, you know, a lot of the stuff was on, that you see now, and I've been watching some of it on Vice, Dark Side of the Ring. And you hear, guys like, Dr. D. David Schultz, Eddie Mansfield, and you hear them talk about the old days in wrestling and and we're talking about back long before big TV but how the guys didn't make much money and they had to travel and they had no insurance. And it was just, to be a wrestler back in the day. And when I say back in the day, you got to say 80s and beyond.
Can I just tell you that I get annoyed when I hear that a lot?
But
just, there was no money in it and the insurance was bad and the travel sucked. Well, get another fucking job.
Right. Yes, I agree.
God damn, nobody's keeping you here. It's like you were forced in by the fucking mob. If you didn't like the way the job was, pick a fucking another one.
I love it.
Or go on TV and be an absolute cockbag and try to ruin it for everybody else and turn your back on the brotherhood that welcomes you in, thinking that's going to be your key to fame, and then wind up being a fucking insurance broker in goddamn Paducah, you motherfucker.
Wow.
I'm so annoyed by Eddie Mansfield. How about Eric Bischoff yakking all over that chick and the crowd
yak on the
below?
fans? Look at the fans. Look at,
This is probably what when somebody said, you're gonna have to do a podcast with Conrad Thompson. No, man. I get so burnt out on people saying, oh, things were tough back then. We had it pick another fucking job.
Yeah, that's true. And listen, I agree with everything you're saying, but what I'm just trying to say is how it's changed for the boys for the better.
But also too, in those same days where those guys were complaining, whoever was on top was making big money.
Yeah.
We've seen canceled checks from Harley Race in that era and Jack Briscoe in that era and Ric Flair in that era. Rick was making, $6, $7, $8, $9 grand for some of these events that weren't televised because he quote unquote drew the house.
Sure.
So yeah, if you're not happy with your spot on the card and you feel like the system is rigged and it's not allowing you to move up, go do something else. That's what people in the real world do. Hey, I tried selling cars. That fucking business sucked. Now I sell houses or cell phones or something else, but you took your skill set and you applied it somewhere else. But just stay in there and, oh, people aren't fair. I've been mistreated. You're a fucking loser.
Tell him, buddy. That's good stuff. And it comes from somebody I know who's a self-made man. So
well, I'm just saying, like, quick.
Wait, no, you are.
Like, fuck, man. I want the credit. Here's Goldberg. They're going to hit that motherfucker with a car about. That's a rule in WWE. I know you may not have been in the loop on this, but if you're bald and you have a goatee, people try to hit you with cars. Seriously, they hit Goldberg with a car.
Yeah.
They hit Steve Austin with a car. Like, it's not good for your health if you show up bald with a goatee. You will get hit with a fucking car. It's only a matter of time before Jay-Z gets hit with a car.
Well,
if he continues down this path of trying to be on the fringe of wrestling, he's accidentally going to wind up inside of wrestling. And Lagana is going to be sweet talking him backstage about hypothetically, Mr. Zimmerman, what if we were to hit you with a fucking car?
Wait, hold on. Hold on here. Keep rolling. But, we're going to take a detour in our conversation here.
Okay.
For a second. Just let everybody know we'll get back to the show that we're watching. You're disappointed about.
It's going to be awesome too, by the way, because he's about to bring out Triple H.
Okay. Well, we probably should track
let's
it.
take
then.
the detour and I'll track it when the shit gets deep.
Okay. Is Jay-Z working for NWA?
Oh no, not at all.
Oh, woo.
No, not at all. The NWA is not even running shows right now. So no.
Okay. All right. Well, I was just thinking if in fact he's going to have to end up doing some work for NWA, I will come over and babysit Chelsea while he's on the road.
Well, I think you'll have to beat off Jim Ross for that opportunity.
Yeah, that won't be a problem.
I meant that literally, like spit in your hand for him. So here's what we're talking about though. The reason I said Lagana is Lagana worked for WWE during this era.
Okay.
So when motherfuckers are getting hit with cars, I just assume he's in on those meetings.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Now he works with the NWA. And as we know, Jay-Z Flair is obsessed with the NWA because he feels like if I post enough pictures of these belts and my scantily clad wife, eventually my phone's going to ring. Mm-hmm. And that hasn't happened yet. But if Jay-Z starts to learn how to take flatbacks, it's going to be Aldous and Camille against Jay-Z and Chelsea in some sort of internet pay-per-view coming your way soon.
Well, the thing it is, bookers and promoters can rest assured that it won't cost much to get Jay-Z in the ring. Just some Bojangles, biscuits, and chicken.
No, that's the thing. He's trying to branch out now. He's looking for the big payday.
Wow.
He's
well, you know what created all this, don't you?
He's been bitching a lot that, the hours working with Bojangles, the miles and the pay, they're just not good enough.
All right. Get another fucking job. Okay.
All right. We're on the heels, by the way. The night before they did, in Charlotte, North Carolina, Judgment Day 03. And on top of that card, was a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Kevin Nash would beat Triple H by DQ. but he took some lumps along the way. So we're going to see a little face-to-face confrontation here. And, Hunter's pretty banged up. He's a little sore. We're going to track some of this promo.
Thank you. Don't get too close. I said I'm trying to maintain my composure, but I can't make no promises. What did you do last night? What did you do? Maybe you can't hear me. There's a speaker right there. What did you do? I'll tell you what you did. You got your ass whipped. Kevin Nash pounded your ass all over that building. You should not have that heavyweight championship on your shoulder. But you do. But you shouldn't. But you do. And you know what you did to keep that title on your shoulder? Look at me in the eyes when I say this. You picked up a sledgehammer and you hit senior official Earl Hebner in the chest with that sledgehammer. Does that make you proud? You feel powerful? You're some kind of bully? You had to do that to save your ass? I can appreciate that maybe, but I can also appreciate the fact that you, Triple H, will wrestle tonight.
Oh, man. Wait a minute, not after last night. Oh, man. Not after that not after that match last night.
See, Austin, a lot of people think that you're just a drunk.
Oh. Oh. There's more?
I think you're just drunk with power. But let me catch you up to speed in case you missed part of the show last night while you were upstairs beating Eric Bischoff's liver into oblivion. Yes, Kevin Nash kicked my ass. But the fact remains, I am still the world heavyweight champion.
That's true.
Now, what that means is, that means around here, I got some stroke too. You see, and tonight, I'm beat up.
You were saying?
I was saying, tonight I am beat up. I am tired and I am not in the mood for any of your crap.
Wow.
So it goes like this. I'm not gonna wrestle tonight.
And that's final.
Wipe that stupid smile off your face. Yes, you will wrestle tonight. But because you see the sympathy on my face, the compassion emanating from my pores, because I feel your pain, I'm going to allow you, Triple H, to pick your own opponent tonight. You can pick your own opponent tonight as long as that opponent is a former world champion.
What?
So that means your options are Kane, Shawn Michaels, Jericho, or Kevin Nash.
Oh, who's he going to choose? Man, pick your poison. Has he got to wrestle? It's a nightmare for the champion. A nightmare for Triple H. This is not right. He's in no condition to wrestle, much less
Let me get this straight.
A former champ.
Get this straight here. You want me to pick my own opponent.
Did I stutter?
As long as he's a former world heavyweight champion. You know, Austin, you should...
Watch this, Tony.
You know, Steve, what you should do is you...
What's wrong?
All right, okay, all right. You're on. I'll wrestle tonight, and I'll wrestle a former world heavyweight champion. Matter of fact, I'll wrestle the greatest former world heavyweight champion of all time.
Uh-oh.
I'll wrestle my good buddy, Ric Flair.
What? What the hell?
Oh yeah, Austin, and since you gave me the authority, that's the bottom line, because the game said so.
Wow! My God.
So there you see, the stage is set, and
I love it.
Look at Flair. He's like, wait a minute, what?
Very
You see
well done.
Austin cut eyes at Flair, and now it's all set, man. Look at Flair talking to him up the ring, like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Why are we doing this?
That's tremendous.
Man,
Great fucking angle, man.
when wrestling is fucking good, there ain't nothing better, man.
Yep, you're right.
Don't get me wrong. Some of the shit we have to sit through sometimes on this show, less than ideal. But man, when it's good, fuck, it's so good. I'm really excited you're getting to see this because they keep this thread throughout the entire show, and we see some backstage interviews and then the match itself. It's really special.
Did you see that on Twitter? I think it was Bubba Ray said something about our podcast about we should have mentioned something, and I'm thinking we did mention that. I can't remember what it was.
No, I didn't see that. I'll go.
Yeah, I have to go back and look at it. But anyway, fucking Dudleys were all that, man.
I'll be honest. I didn't even know Bubba listened.
Yeah, he does. He listens to everything, I think.
I mean, I listen to his show, and I think most of our listeners do. Of course, we're talking about Busted Open on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Even though
his partner's a knucklehead.
Oh, your boy.
Yeah, my boy. Anybody that hates Star Wars like that ain't my boy.
Oh, LaGreca hates Star Wars too?
Oh my God. Oh my God. On May the 4th, he came out and said, like, fuck Star Wars or something. So who are these big guys in here against the Dudleys? I mean, I think I know one of them.
That's Rosie and Jamal. One of these guys would eventually become Umaga. And the other, who's stepping out of the ring right now, would be the second for Hurricane, and he would be trying to learn how to be a superhero. He was a superhero in training, or an SHIT.
That's tremendous. I got to write that down. I'm going to put that on the back of my car. Superhero in training, just capitalize the letters.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Wait, I think what you were talking about when you said our show was a bully rage tweet when he says, well, fuck at JR's BBQ. If you're going to plug everyone's podcast, how about some love for your pals at Busted Open Radio?
Right. Exactly. And that's what I was talking about, what we said on AEW. And we did talk about him. And we did talk about shithead, whatever his name is. LaGreca.
How come you just hate that guy?
Well, but I love LaGreca, but don't shit on Star Wars.
Oh, but it sucks though.
It does not suck.
Oh.
No, it does not suck. It just people who don't like Star Wars don't have a taste for shit. That's all.
Let me mention too that I saw some Twitters, some tweets and whatnot about, hey Tony, you should make Conrad watch Star Wars as a bonus episode. Hey, I'm booking the territory over here. Fucking pipe down. Not watching no 3-hour bullshit sci-fi.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me say this about our buddies on Twitter and even our enemies on Twitter. Some of you have great ideas, but some of you have ideas that aren't worth shit. So keep them to yourself.
There you go.
But you know what? Sometimes ideas are good and we'd like to steal them. I mean, use them.
Use them. Yeah, use them.
Look at Bubba get up top there, man. Bully. I think we need to get on their show again.
Well, why don't you?
Yeah, I'll just, I got their numbers. I got their producers' numbers. I'll just call and say, hey, I need to get on this show and shit on LaGreca.
They would welcome that.
I know they would.
They're good guys. I like all of them.
I wonder if they're working at home. I haven't
they are.
listened.
They're broadcasting from home right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess so. I mean, there's no one in New York City.
Yeah, absolutely. Why would you want to go there right now?
Well, Matt has to go in there like every other week.
I'm surprised Matt's still alive.
Yeah. So, well, you know how it is. When you're Italian in New York, the only way to die is
gunfire.
Gunfire.
Out in front of Sparks. Have you ever had dinner at Sparks and laid in the street like an asshole?
No, I don't even. Whoa, man. That's a great double suplex. No, I'm not.
Well,
I don't even know where Sparks is. I've gone to Little Italy.
Well, you should go to Sparks and,
when it opens up again.
Track it.
Devon's up and he's about to come down. Whoa!
That's the way you could try to dive into Medusa one day.
That's what the move is called. What's up?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was just a head to the nuts.
What's wrong with the head to the nuts?
I don't know. What's up? Man, I love the Dudleys. Just fucking loved them. Boom.
Good stuff, man. Some of my favorites.
Did you say rats?
Favorites. Just you're busting balls on my pronunciation.
No, I just, when we're watching wrestling, you say rats, I think of something
else. Yeah. I get it. I understand.
That's what you get. I was talking earlier about this green. They're doing some great shit, man.
How about to pick up a guy the size of Bubba and just throw him over your shoulder? And of course, he's not the legal man, so he's saying, "Get out of here." Look at Charles Robinson. He had less Flair hair than normal, right there.
Yeah, he had the Flair hair from 92, 91 before Flair left.
Little Dutch boy gimmick.
Yeah.
And
who's this on the outside?
That's Rico.
That's Rico on the outside.
Yeah, he was an OVW standout, and he's a little older, but came up here and originally was with the Chuck and Billy tag team when they were doing their quote unquote gay wedding.
Gay wedding.
And ultimately, oh man, he just obliterated that fucking table. Anyway, he's a good performer. I think he's with, I think he even had a run with the Las Vegas PD, but he had some health scare stuff a couple years ago. And unfortunately, both Rosie and Jamal, both the Dudley Boys opponents, they're no longer with us. They both passed on. But I'll tell you this, that's, those guys were the size, or Roman Reigns was their size before when he played football, before he doubled down on becoming a WWE superstar and tried to look like The Rock.
Yeah, he was an offensive lineman, so.
I'm just saying, the gimmick is, in that family, you either look like The Rock and Roman Reigns or these guys. There's no in between.
Yeah, right.
You're a monster or you're a fucking matinee idol.
Right.
And you know what? Neither one's wrong.
Right. It's like you either look like Dave Silva or you look like Antonio Banderas.
Can you imagine if Roman Reigns wasn't a family man? Boy, he'd just be knocking them down left and right. Would he not?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
He'd just go for a jog and come back with kids.
So I'm going to ask a question of you.
Uh-oh.
No, it's a wrestling related question. It's chat me up, smart me up, whatever you want to say.
Okay.
Okay. Talk about at this time, or even from now until the Performance Center opened up, about developmental territories.
Yeah, they were using OVW here, and they were using a little bit of Deep South. So Deep South was based in Atlanta.
That was Jody Hamilton's promotion.
And OVW was in Kentucky, and OVW really cranked out most of the stars. And then they would start a Florida territory with Steve Kern that would eventually become NXT, and he sort of got squeezed out of there.
Wow, surprising. So did they fund these territories? Did they just send guys there and pay? Those are interesting stories. How about the work between the WWE and the developmental territories? I think it's very interesting stuff.
So these guys would be promoting their own. We're going to track it here.
Okay.
What?
Eric,
What?
get up.
Steve, I'm dying here.
You can't die. It's Monday Night Raw. We got a show to run, 50-50, you and me.
I can't. I just need some time.
Well, we ain't got time.
Oh, God, Steve, come on. You got
Feel better now?
By the way, that's me and Eric last year at the comic book convention in Chicago when we had a 3-way show. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Look, man, hamburgers, hot dogs, jalapeno peppers. I can't do this redneck diet of yours, man. I can't.
I've been doing it for years. It's worked wonders for me. You know what?
What?
I got just a thing for you. You got hammered last night. Hair of the dog. That's what you need. A little bit of the animal.
I don't need no hair. I don't need no dogs.
Yeah. I think you do. I think.
Literally every day of your life is hair of the dog, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, regardless if there's alcohol involved or not, it's hair of the dog in the Schiavone household.
Yes, it is. Yeah. I was just thinking of something when you talked about the Comic-Con, C2E2.
Yeah.
And we were backstage and Eric wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And you turned to me and I'm thinking, I've known you for a while. I don't think I've seen you this mad before. When you looked at me and you said, what
did I say?
Like, oh, he's fucking serious here.
And I said, never again.
Never again.
Kevin Nash.
Don't you like? I understand where you're coming from. You ain't got to explain nothing to me. I saw what you did last night. You whooped ass. You beat Triple H's ass all over that building last night. I saw it. I said that I saw it. I put a stamp on you. I know what you're doing. You're making a damn statement. So don't get worried. As far as I'm concerned, right now you're the number one contender. Do you understand me? Number one contender. That's saying a lot. As far as your future goes, as far as I'm concerned, you, Kevin Nash, have the winner of the match between Triple H and Ric Flair.
God.
You like that?
Nash has got the winner.
So there you go. We've got Kevin Nash a rematch lined up. What a special shit this is about to be.
Hey, I'm overwhelmed. I mean, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened in my entire life. You had the entire roster. I mean, there's 4 or 5 great world champions there, but instead you pick me. Just like we talked about, the best versus the best, man. I mean, right here on Raw, the main event. This is more than I ever could have asked for. I don't know how I would be able to thank you.
Rick. I think you're missing the point here. I've expressed to you how sore I am today, right? How beat up I am.
Yeah.
Nash kicked my ass last night all over that arena. I was lucky to walk out with the title, okay? I've told you how sore, how beat up I am. I chose you not because you're Ric Flair. I chose you because you're Ric Flair. I chose you to stick it up Austin's ass. Now, we'll go out there, you'll talk a little trash, I'll talk a little trash, then you'll lay down. And I'll cover you. 1, 2, 3. Night off, we go home. Rick, don't worry about this, okay? Don't worry about it. Listen, you just lay there. I'll do the rest, all right?
Triple H has got it all figured out, King.
How many women over the years have told you, you just lay there, I'll handle the rest?
None. How many do I wish? All of them.
So what do you think of that, man? Rick's all excited. Oh man, this is more than I ever could have asked for. Mm-hmm. This is great, man. The best versus the best now, tonight on Raw.
Shaping up to be. This is a very well done show thus far, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I think, again, you know, we said when wrestling's great, it's better than everything. And I think this is one of the better shows they put together, because you do have this common thread and storyline going all the way through, and you got some interesting matches along the way. I mean, look at this. I mean, another all-timer here, Chris Jericho.
Yeah, man. I just, can I say something about Chris Jericho here?
Yeah. I wish you would.
Okay. Honestly, I just, I've worked with some of the greats. I've worked with many of the greats. I've worked with probably most of the greats with the exception of, The Rock. But I don't think I've worked with any better than Chris Jericho.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. No, listen, I'm serious. If you see the time and effort that he puts in backstage to what's going on, there's things that happen. There are things that happen that fans don't see. And to me, I'm just amazed sometimes. And I was thinking about that the other day when we were doing one of our tape broadcasts. We were taping matches, and just watching him work backstage. He's not the type of guy that will do his angle and then go and sit in his room.
Right.
He's not. It's just, I'm just absolutely amazed and many times humbled by his work ethic. And he's made his way not necessarily because what he can do there in the ring, as we're seeing right now, but what the effort and time he puts into what's going on. It's just, it is absolutely any of the kids who are starting and I say it to them all the time. Any of the kids who are starting our business need to watch how he does his business. It's amazing.
Notice here, he's wearing the Jaguars colors too.
Yeah, there you go. How about that? Huh?
I'm not doing that at all. I'm colorblind, but I know aqua and black when I see it.
Okay. I was sipping on a Monster Max.
Anyway, now that you've just fucking lied to our audience and said that Jericho was better than Ric Flair and Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan.
No, I didn't say that.
No, you actually explicitly said that.
Okay.
Jericho tweeted out this past weekend, and this is at 12:10 in the morning.
Right.
So there's probably a half dozen or a dozen. Yeah, boys. Not being egotistical or arrogant, but right here and right now, for the first time since 2010, I honestly feel that I am the best in the world in the pro wrestling biz. Not going to discuss or debate. It's just the way I feel, ... Yep. I don't think a lot of people can argue that right now, and it depends on what you look for as a professional wrestler. You might say, well, I don't think Chris Jericho has the best matches, or I don't like his style of matches, or whatever. Like maybe it's not exactly, I like the New Japan, or I like the Indie, or I like the whatever. But when you really look at the total picture, the whole body of work, the presence, the promo, the storylines, the angles, the execution, the interaction with fans, the commentary with you, he's checking a lot of boxes these days. That can't be argued. I mean, he won Wrestler of the Year last year in the Observer, and so far this year, he's got to be, near the top of the list again.
Yeah. He's a leader in the company. He is a leader by example in the company.
And by the way, not one of the EVPs, but still.
No, he's not.
I mean, so you don't need a title to be a leader is my point.
Right. We're going to track this, or did we just go talk over it?
Let's just talk over it. Who gives a shit?
Okay. So, and I say that, and I agree with all he's doing because he just absolutely amazes me about the bubbly bunch.
Yeah.
That's all him. I mean, that's all him organizing that and putting that together. And would you stop slurping your coffee? Okay. And when I think about getting a star that can still perform in the ring, that can, of all the options that AEW may have had, I don't know what they had. I think this was the best sign they could have done for guys who are still, and I'm talking about what you guys don't see. So there, I've had enough of that. You want to slurp your coffee again? Go ahead.
What do you think of Christian's look here? How would you describe this? First of all, do you have that shirt?
Oh, no. I was looking more at the haircut. Hey,
do you have these bell-bottom jeans with a little tie and weird pockets.
Would you consider this rock star look?
I mean, I feel like he's an extra from Boogie Nights right now.
Yeah.
By the way, we should mention that the night before, Christian won a battle royal to win the Intercontinental title. He last eliminated Booker T in the process, so he should have show off his new IC title. There you see it's coming to an end.
Uh-huh.
But the referee's down. So the ref misses the Christian spot. Pat Patterson gets punched for his troubles.
So last night, and now he comes out with a new haircut. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess this is his brand new look. Look at, because when I saw him come out with the short hair, I'm thinking, wow. And now look at him.
It's got to be Vince McMahon wanted him to cut his hair.
Yeah. Listen, you're not going to do anything on your own there. They controlled everything.
You know that, Bruce Pritchard's told the story before, but Dr. Tom, his brother, who was quite the star in Continental and Smoky Mountain and all that, when he first got brought up his first main run with the company, they wanted to package him with Chris Candido and sort of be a lookalike for Chris Candido. So not only did he have to dye his hair from brown to blonde, but he had to cut it all off. And if you watched any old, of the Good Doctor's promos, he was fluffing his hair the entire time, sort of like Jimmy Jam Garvin.
Right.
And Bruce loved this so much that he broke out a video camera and filmed his brother getting his hair cut. Is that the most Bruce story you've ever heard?
Yes, it is.
That is the most Bruce story of all time. Oh, and look who's coming. You want to see a pop? How about Rob Van Dam?
I think he rules, but here comes Rob Van Dam, another one of the 9 competitors in the
He's carrying a tag title right there, just so you know.
Okay.
Actually, Ric Flair and Roddy Piper held that same set of tag titles.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. In this era, Flair and Piper were tag champs. Can you believe that?
I can't believe that, but that's a hell of a team back in the day.
Well, maybe not in 2005.
No, not in 2005, but back in the old Crockett territory.
Oh, it was a shit, dude.
Early 80s, before Piper went to the WWF. And I was there, man. I was there at the end of Piper's run for the Crockett's.
Hey, did you see the UFC this past weekend?
No, I did not.
Did you meet any of those guys at the Hodel?
I did not. Even if I would, well, I didn't stay at that Hodel. I stayed at another one. But even if I had, I wouldn't have recognized any of them.
Oh yeah, that's right. You don't know anybody.
No, I don't. I don't know anybody from the if Dana White,
you'd know Brock Lesnar and CM Punk, but nobody else.
Right. If Dana White walked in a McDonald's today and I was standing in line waiting for a Big Mac, or better yet, if I was in Jacksonville at a Whataburger and he walked in, I wouldn't know who he is. I only know his name because it's a name you can remember, Dana White. Right.
So how are things going in Georgia now that y'all are hoping to back up now for a couple weeks?
We mean hoping to back up.
Well, y'all are open. Everything's open.
Oh.
There's this thing called coronavirus that shut everything down. It happened in March. It was a real big deal.
Was it?
And then Georgia was the first state to say, fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah. Suck it. So, I mean, they said, well, it's going okay. It's slow. I think people are being very cautious. It's not like, well, we've opened up and everybody's sliding back into the stores. I got my hair cut the other day, and you can only have so many people in the salon, and the girl who did my hair had mask on and all that, but it's slow, and I think, I really think we're doing it right. I think we need to open up. But we need to be very cautious. And I think it's going to be a little while before we see arenas filled again. Don't you?
Oh, I think we're a long way from arenas being filled.
Yeah. We may be, I don't know what you consider a long way. The the NFL may set the standard for all this. I'm not sure.
I think we're into next year before we see arenas and filled for wrestling shows.
Okay.
I don't know anything.
Filled or any people at all. You think we're just going to continue to do empty arenas until then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to vaccinations.
Yeah. And I think, they'll probably put a chip in your ass to make sure that you can actually come inside. Because how are you going to know that there's a vaccine or that someone's been vaccinated? They'll have to either, show a document, which will be easy to forge, put a special bracelet on you. They're going to put a chip in your ass.
Oh my God.
I think they're going to chip you like your dogs.
You know what?
You just get to walk right in.
We're fucked.
No, we're not.
No, yeah, we are fucked. If they're going to chip our ass, we're fucked.
Well,
we are absolutely. It's either going to be The Walking Dead when they give us a vaccine, we're all going to become zombies, or they're going to chip our ass, and now the government's going to be able to follow us we're fucked. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of socialism on a gigantic scale. This ain't 1984, but this is Big Brother shit we're talking about.
Hey, Tony, I know you're not there. Can you have Lois put the phone down and put Tony back on? I'm looking for Tony because it feels like all of a sudden we went on a Facebook socialistic rant.
Okay, I'm back. Well, you scared me there for a minute. Let's just talk about let's not talk about what we think is going to happen because we don't know.
No, I'm just saying if there's chips, I hope there's dips.
Okay.
Because I like dips for my chips. What's your go-to? Let's say I gave you a big bag of Ruffles and you get to pick your kind of dip. You going French onion dip, right?
No, I'm going the homemade dip that the Schiavones were known for all those years.
What, the bullshit ranch out of a packet?
Nope.
What is it?
You take cottage cheese.
Oh, fuck you.
Would you let me finish?
I'm already done, but go ahead.
Cottage cheese and ranch.
Oh.
And you take parsley flakes. And take a little sour cream.
You have just combined the grossest elements
of
all time.
Well,
what is
what
creamy, chunky white stuff that you love shoving in your mouth?
Yeah, it's just like eating pussy. Don't knock it until you try it.
When was the last time you did any of that?
What, cottage cheese? A long time ago.
Eating cooter.
Oh, I can't remember.
That's what I'm saying. It was probably the 80s.
Shit, probably 70s.
And by the way, if it was the 70s, let me tell you, they've changed a lot. First of all, there's a lot less hair now.
Okay.
I don't know. I know that was a Flair rule. Where's Schiavone on that? He used to say no hair, no Flair.
Let's go back to wrestling.
But I know you don't have an aversion to hair because your house is covered in dog hair.
Not the way it used to be. We only got 2 dogs now. We don't have 4.
Boy, it's survival of the fittest over there.
Yeah. And the big dog, Dudley, who passed away around Christmas time, and that was a terrible thing. He was a 135-pound yellow lab, and he was the hair monster right here. He's gone. We got the hair, but not what we used to. Well, what the fuck? Hey, Kane's involved in this. How did Kane get involved in this?
He walked to the ring a few minutes ago. Hey,
there you go.
So chat me up now. You got Biggity Bug.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other dog's name?
Chewy. Remember that goofy looking dog?
Oh God, that one looks like the devil.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've got a cute, overweight dog, and then the ugliest, gnarliest dog that ever lived, right?
Right. Don't talk about my Chihuahua as an overweight dog.
Well, he is.
Well, he's trying. He's
trying. He's trying.
Yeah, I think it's just because of his breed. He's a mix. And I think he's just heavy because of that. If he's not a fool, look at that, man. Well,
hey, by the way, we see referee Nick Patrick in the ring. Did you even notice it was Nick?
Yeah, I did. Would that have been a tope corron?
I don't know. Call Excalibur for that.
Okay. By
the way, you got ate up on commentary when it was you and Jericho for those 6 or 8 weeks or whatever it felt like.
Yeah.
But for not knowing the names of moves. And calling moves by the wrong names. Do you want to address that?
No, I don't. I don't give a fuck.
No, that's what I was hoping you would say.
Okay.
But you don't give a shit.
Okay. I don't give a fuck. Did I mispronounce the move based on what maybe Excalibur would know or Kevin Kelly would know or somebody in AAA would know? Who gives a flying fuck? It ain't about me. It's about the guys in the ring.
Well, but that's their point, that they're doing moves that are so complicated. You didn't even take the time to learn the names of them.
Take the time to learn.
Yeah. Well, you just talked about how much Chris Jericho prepared, and then you really showed that you're a typical Tony fashion.
Take the time to learn. Fuck you and fuck them. How does that sound?
I like when I get you fired up. Let's take a look at the makeup of this match, by the way, because Christian is wrestling in jeans, and he's now, I guess, unofficially retired. He hasn't wrestled for many years at this point. Rob Van Dam still holding court for Impact. Kane is the fucking mayor of Knox County, and Chris Jericho is running roughshod over AEW.
Makes me think of the old cliche, hey, you never know.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Did I tell you the story about Jose Yepes?
No.
Okay.
What's up with all Jose?
Okay. Great veteran. Had been playing. He's from Puerto Rico. He has, now wait a minute. Sorry. He's from Venezuela. He had been in the minor leagues his entire life.
Okay.
And he had been playing baseball since he was 17, and he came to where they signed him to be like the backup catcher in AAA. And he was a great leader. We talk about Jericho being a great leader, and he would always tell the kids, hey, you never know. Doesn't matter how old you are, you never know. And he was finally hired as the bullpen catcher for the Atlanta Braves, which he still is, right? So it means he's in the big leagues.
That's right.
He took a picture. Somebody took a picture of him on the charter with the team. And he had his hand up and he smiled and he waved. And the caption was, you never know. And he sent that out to all the players on the team. And I thought that was just wonderful. That little simply thing was wonderful about, you just got to keep plugging. You got to keep, because you never know. You don't. You never know what turns your life are going to bring.
I mean, and look at your ass. Who would have ever guessed?
Yes. And I'll take you through the steps here. At the end of 2015, I lost my job with the radio station. I had a meeting at the house with all the kids, even had Matt on FaceTime. And I said, I may have to sell the house because the house is worth a lot of money and I've lost my job. And I went to work for Starbucks. And then a year later, I get the email from you. You never know.
Ta-da!
You just never. Mm-hmm. Look
Game
at this.
changer, baby.
Mm-hmm. And look where we are today, because AEW is a big part of my life, but this podcast is maybe the biggest part of my life.
Well, that's cool to hear, man. And we're glad you're back. I mean, you're back where you belong, and wrestling's just more fun with you in it.
And we're having fun doing it, and that's the cool thing about it, because the last time I was in wrestling, I wasn't having fun, but now I'm having fun on every level.
And we get paid to do this shit. Can you believe that?
Isn't that something? That's absolutely amazing.
And it's because of our listeners. We really appreciate you guys supporting us. We've gone off the beaten path here with our show a long time ago. And, we recognize it's not for everybody, but it is for you crazy assholes. And we appreciate your support because you guys have the same love of wrestling and odd, rude sensibilities that we do.
Yeah. And let me say this too. When someone says, I don't think I'd like that podcast because I don't have time to watch along. You don't have to watch along with us to enjoy this podcast.
Hell, we ain't even really talking about it.
No, right. Well, we do sometimes, and we track the things that we think that you'd like to hear. And I know we've got a lot of people who listen to our podcast and are truck drivers and are traveling along and just listen to it that way. So I get it.
I think that just the concept watch along makes some people not check it out. I've seen that feedback a lot. And then they do catch up and they're like, this went from being the podcast of Conrad's I listen to the least to my absolute favorite, because it's, this sounds like the conversations you and I are having are the exact same conversations we would be having if we were in the car together, or you were at my house, or I was at your house, or we're down at the bar. This is two buddies talking about wrestling, bullshitting.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what this is all about. And that's why we have a good time at doing it. And these kids are working their ass off in the ring too, by the way.
Hey, I don't know if you saw over the weekend, but MILFs were trending on Twitter.
Really? And why was that?
Well, because Sunday was Mother's Day.
Got it.
Let's talk about Mother's Day. What'd you do for Lois for Mother's Day?
Okay. I got a MINF at the house.
A mom I'd never fuck?
No longer.
No. You have a MINLF.
MINLF.
Mom I no
right.
longer fuck. Right. Yeah, we got to make that a shirt. Ryan, wake up. I need MILNF over at loisrules.com.
Sure is. That's about as true as we can get here. Lois we had a good Mother's Day, somewhat. Yeah. Well, we went to eat at Chris's house, and the kids got together and bought her a lobster tail.
Wait a minute. They pooled their money to buy one tail?
$60 for a lobster tail.
What? A $60 lobster tail?
It was massive.
Oh.
They went to like this
seafood
place.
shop.
Yeah. Massive. And she ate it, drank a lot of beer, and then had diarrhea the next day.
So it's typical Sunday, really.
Yeah. Food poisoning.
Oh, Jesus.
Bless their heart. They tried.
Wait, she really got food poisoning?
Yeah, she really did.
Oh, fucking A, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. But there you go. I guess it's food poisoning. Put it this way. It just didn't agree with her. All right.
Well, here's what I was going to say. When they say, oh, this is the biggest lobster tail we got, don't eat that one.
Yeah, that would be probably a good thing to remember.
A, you don't know how long it's been there.
Right.
And B, usually when things are seafood's that big, it probably doesn't taste that great. Here's Booker T laying waste to Christian because he knows he eliminated Christian the night before.
Right.
For all intents and purposes, he should be the Intercontinental Champion, but we know that's not the case because Christian's a dirty cheater. And Booker T in street clothes here.
They're doing some good shit in this show, man.
It's a really good episode of Raw.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I think the wrestling fans have come around to it because for a long time, for more than the last decade, people have talked about, Attitude Era. But I think this sort of ruthless aggression era, we'll call it 02 to 05, 06, fans have really gotten into. And I agree. I think it's some of the most underrated stuff. I mean, look at the talent roster here. Hall of Famer. Dudley Boys, Hall of Famers. Umaga and Rosie, had they not passed away, would have been Hall of Famers. I mean, just, they're on a roll.
Right.
And your main storyline through this whole show, and what a show it's going to be, Triple H and Ric Flair and your main event. Coming up next, we've got a little backstage segment that I'm going to try that continues the thread, dude.
Who was their booker back then? There's our guys, man.
One of the more iconic commentary duos of all time. Probably the most identifiable, don't you think?
Oh, there's without question. Yeah, good stuff, man.
Look at them driving traffic to WWE.com. Who tried to run over Goldberg last week? Bret Hart. That would have been my write-in vote.
Track it.
Here we go.
I'm not here to confront you. I'm here to talk to you man to man, out of respect. And Rick, I'm here to tell you, you cannot go out there tonight and lay down for Triple H. I want you to hear me out. 15 years ago, you came out on TV and you told the world that you were the measuring stick, you were the standard that every guy in this business should aspire to be. And I heard that, and I went out and spent every day for the next 15 years trying to reach that level.
Look at Flair's lip quivering.
That I did it. But I'm telling you, you know as well as I do, you're only as good as your last match.
Do you really think I have on a given day Do you really think I can go out there and beat a guy like Triple H right now?
Rick, you're still an H. You're still Ric Flair. I believe that. The question you gotta ask yourself is, do you still believe that? I know you can do it.
Tell me this ain't good TV, dude.
It is good TV. It's great TV. And I was also thinking it doesn't take much to get that old fucker to cry, does it?
When people talk about how important he was to their career and it's someone he respects and admires like that, man, he's just, it's real to him.
Oh yeah. And it's real to him, and thus it becomes real to the family. All right. Here's another Hall of Famer.
Teddy Long, not Rodney Mack.
Well, of course.
Rodney Mack, by the way, a good performer. I think, wrestling needs more guys like Rodney Mack who could go out and have good matches. Maybe they're not, I mean, he is one of, I think what Arn would call the carpenters of professional wrestling. Good look, good size, good performer, even though he's never going to get a push with the top belt and the top program. He's going to go out there and be consistent for you.
I'm not familiar with him at all.
I think you'll be impressed with him here. He's, I'm not going to say an enhancement talent, but he hasn't been positioned as the tippy top guy. He had some runs, but still he was a guy who would, again, a very capable performer. And that's what you need. Like, not everybody, like, I guess what I'm saying is, where are the George Souths? Where are the guys who make everybody else look great? And I think there's maybe amongst wrestling fans online, it's become, I don't know, something that's cool to be dismissive towards those guys, but I grew up on enhancement matches. I remember watching Superstars and to see how good this new guy was and what they were capable of. They had to deliver moves to somebody. And
right.
when one of those guys really jumped out the screen, oh man, this guy's a badass. Well, somebody helped him look that way. And I think it's a lost art. I think a lot of guys maybe don't think it's cool, but being the secret sauce and helping make some of these superstars, it's very important.
You know what else is a lost art when you talk about matches like this? Oh, here comes Spike. Is main event talent making the enhancement people mean something by letting them have a match instead of just a squash. Now, they end up being squash matched anyway, in theory, but it goes back to this. There was a lot of talk about Kenny Omega a few weeks back giving one of the enhancement talents too much. And that was the question posed. Did he give him too much? But he gave him a lot. And then when he beat him, it meant something. It's smart. Then you beat somebody. It just makes you look better. So anyway, that's my theory on wrestling. What's the countdown clock here for? Does anybody know? That is the challenge? I mean, I've seen on the closed caption here that they're making this a white versus black issue, right?
Well, yeah, we'll track the commentary a little bit.
Okay.
About the dollar bill, y'all.
There's Teddy.
Mack physically intense is attempting to dive.
And Teddy's on there saying, oh, he's going to whoop this white boy in 5 minutes or less type of thing.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So they're making this a racial issue, which maybe 2003 was on the cutting edge, but you could never do that today. You just need to stay away from it. But Teddy, I love, man. And I was thinking about Teddy the other day, believe it or not, on this past Saturday, and I don't know what made me think about it, but I was trying to think of things that would be, because I like to think of things that maybe would end up being on Road 2, or maybe on something that a little skit that we could do on adfreeshows.com. And I was thinking about one of my favorite characters of all time from TV is Homie the Clown.
Oh yeah, you used to tell us homie don't play that and all that.
Love that stuff. And Teddy and I used to do those interviews, and he said, and homie don't play that, Schiavone, and you know what I mean. And he'd walk off from the interviews. And he and I just loved that stuff. And I was just trying to think about, could we do a Homie the Clown skit? And I don't know what we would call it. But, you know, I love doing skits. We do, for our fans on Patreon and for ad-free shows, we do Slapdick Theater.
Which
so I like to come up with another character.
Tremendous.
What's that?
You've done a tremendous job with it.
Well, thanks to Dave Silva and Chris McDonald for, you know, all their help.
Chris McDonald had Photoshop. E-I-E-I-O. And with this shop, he made us look cool.
There's a difference between having Photoshop and knowing how to work it.
Yes, which we know from knowing Dave Silva.
Oh, good.
Oh, Silva had a birthday last week, you know.
I know. He's born on May the 4th.
May the 5th.
May the 5th, okay.
No, sorry, May the 6th.
May the 6th. May the 6th be with you.
Yeah, I got a heads up from our gimmick attorney about what he wanted for his birthday, and I got it for him, but I haven't seen him. So I guess I'm just going to put it on his desk at work, although he doesn't come to work anymore. And
what the fuck?
If he ever comes in.
Who's his direct supervisor? You?
Yeah.
Well, then you need to get his ass into work.
Well,
what's going on?
It's the Rona, you know?
Oh, you know, fuck. I get that. Work from home.
Well, he is, but I'm saying I'm not going to his house. His house is littered with kids, and they probably eat up with the Rona.
Oh, Jesus. Inside cradle.
Oh, did I tell you what I'm doing this week?
No.
Gonna do some social distancing.
Okay.
I'm going on a little vacay.
Are you really?
Need a little change of scenery.
Very cool.
Not one that requires air travel.
Yeah.
Just gonna hop in one of my automobiles and head south.
Well, you know what? That's the best kind of that. To me, that's the best kind of vacation. Air travel is if you got to go overseas, if you got to go across the water, to me. But if I've got time and I want to take a vacay, as you cool kids call it now, I want to get in the car and drive and see the sights as I drive. I love driving, as you know. I love traveling. I just do, and I think it's something that we sorely miss. I mean, look. You can say that, well, you sound like somebody that's going to, in his golden years, have a Winnebago and you and Lois travel around. Well, that may sound nice, but in my golden years, I'm either going to still be doing this or be dead.
Tony.
What?
You're in your golden years right now. Buddy.
See, I told you. I was right.
And look at there. With 2 seconds left, Rodney Mack gets the tap out victory over little Spike Dudley, but he's refusing to release the hold. Referee Jack Doan, get control here, playa. And it looks like Teddy Long's here to do a run in and spike the ball on these hoes, playa. He wants to raise his hand. Check it out. I need you to get some pants that color, Tony.
I'll get some pants that color, and I'll do that little walk and wiggle like Teddy's doing.
That dance would set it off, son.
Yeah. Man, look at that. Gonna hit that door.
The door was open way too long.
It was. It's hard to time it because you can only do it once. Unless you get another. Let's bring in another door. No, we don't have one. Let's bring in another limousine.
You see over the weekend or this past week, it was announced that Triple H and Stephanie are working on a wrestling memorabilia television show with A&E.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. Good for them.
I got tagged about 80 million times.
I bet you did. I bet you did. Well, good. I mean, anything that shines a light on pro wrestling, wherever, is a good thing for our business.
Absolutely.
So I hope they, do you know that, can I tell you the story of Did I ever tell you the story? And I know I haven't told it here about A&E getting in touch with me.
You have told us, but what I want you to do is maybe wait and tell us in a few minutes.
Okay.
They're previewing the Ric Flair match, talking about what a big night it is, especially here in Flair country, that it's a dream match. And we're going to see Ric Flair in just a moment. But first, Eric Bischoff and Stone Cold, we're going to track it.
Eric Bischoff, how about a son, bring it back? You got your ears on. How about you, Eric Bischoff? You got a copy, bring it back. You got a copy? What's your 20? Get it, let's see me talk. Hold on, I got something else for you, a little bit better than that. Hold on. Make it feel better. Hey, we got do.
How great is Stone Cold as an entertainer? Dude, as an entertainer, second to none.
Oh, hell yeah! Oh, no, okay, I'm gonna stop all that shit. This is a bunch of crap. You know what? I'm gonna talk quieter so I don't upset your head.
Thank you.
You got a headache? You know the secret to a hangover?
I'm afraid to ask.
It's not the hair of the dog. That was kind of a little joke, okay? I want to tell you.
What is it?
The truth?
The truth.
And you can trust me on this?
I need to trust you.
Female entertainment.
You're kidding me.
You need a woman. No. Let me go you one better than that. You need a couple women. And that's going to make you feel better. It's going to lift your spirits up, among other things. You know what I mean?
Not now.
Yeah, it's going to make, I promise you. You trust me. You trust me, buddy. Hey, girls, come on in. Come on, girls. Come on in, girls. See you later, buddy.
Get the hell! What are you doing? Look, get your saggy, smelly asses out of here, wrinkled up. Dinah, look, get the hell out of my office. Get your hands off of me. Get out of my office. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to smell you. I just want to know you.
Brian is a hell of a writer. This has to be his segment.
God, why is he torturing me?
Oh, seeing Moulin Mayyoung made me throw up.
Look at this, dude. Getting hyped up, man. Main event coming up.
Wow. This may be one of the best shows they've done.
It's a tremendous episode. Now, oh my God, look at what we're watching. This is La Resistance, but I'll be goddamned. It looks real close to what they wanted to put the Revival in, didn't it?
I guess, yeah.
Holy shit. Anyway, seriously, go look at the Revival pictures of what they wanted them to dress like. This is remarkably close.
Aren't you talking about the Revolt?
Fear the Revolt. The Revolt is a tag team from North Carolina with a great close personal friend of the show, Zane, who has worked all of our StarCasts, as you very much recall. And yeah, they're the Revolt. But I think Fear the Revolt, FTR, that's our old pals from the artist formerly known as the Revival from WWE. And speaking of Revival, I have been revived. Stacy Keibler coming to the ring here, looking all the way live with Scott Steiner, aka Freakzilla, and Test, who's no longer with us.
Right. Now, Steiner and Test are all blown up, and they look great. But when those three walk to the ring, you're looking at one thing.
All eyes on Stacy.
That's right. That's right. Holy shit.
I fucking hate David Flair so much.
If I would see him right now, I would hit him right in the mouth.
He's going to be at my house for Double or Nothing. Him and the fam are going to come spend the weekend with us here at the Conrad for Memorial Day. And we'll fire up the old Apple TV and crank down a little Double or Nothing.
I wonder if it would be good for me, or wonder how I could sneak in without exposing anything. I hate David Flair, or as bad a decision as David Flair would have made back in.
Oh, please do that.
I need to try to find a way to do it.
God, it would pop him so hard.
That's like a David Flair decision from back in, when did he dump her or she dump him? When did that happen? What year was that?
I'll get the exact date. I mean,
get the exact day and year.
I'm pretty sure he knows where he was, what he was wearing. Something that traumatic happens to you, you remember it all very vividly. Things go in slow motion. When she says, "We need to talk," it all slows down and you're like, no, just one more, please.
Who are these kids that are in Les Resistance?
Sylvain Grenier and I think that's right. I think the other's Rob Conway.
Okay.
Probably
they look pretty good. I mean, they're good looking kids. Oh, no, never mind.
I'm sorry. Not Rob Conway. Rene Dupree. I'm a dumbass.
Okay.
Duh. Rene Dupree had a look and a half too, once upon a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. These kids are doing quite well here. And Tess is selling for them quite well.
Tony, let me ask, whenever, you would break up with a girl back when you were a single man, before you were married and before you were with Lois, when you would break up with her, or she would break up with you, would you try to get it in one last time?
Yeah.
I think that's like a rule of thumb, right? You need like one for the road, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was one girl back in the day that really broke my heart.
Really? Tell us about it.
And I tried to one last, but I screwed it up.
Well, tell us about how she broke your heart.
I can't remember the exact thing. I just remember how downtrodden I was because I really liked her. And this was like 79, maybe.
Did she blame you for something, or you blamed her for something?
No, she blamed me for something.
And you're saying it wasn't even your fault?
No, it was my fault. It was. I'll take full blame for it.
I feel bad for Stacy right here. Can you imagine Scott Steiner mad at you? Oh yeah, that actually happened to me.
Hope Scotty's doing well.
When things get back to normal, I want to scoot over to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And me and you go have lunch at Shoney's.
Yeah, I want to also.
And let's film it and put it on patreon.com/WHW Monday. Just me and you hitting the hot bar. I'm going to, and I, despite what everybody listening to this thinks, I do eat salad, just with a lot of dressing, but I'm going to load it up with some ham cubes, son. You hear me?
You got it, buddy. And have Scotty walk in and say, "You have enough ham cubes on that?" Or something like that.
Hypothetically, would you rather have half a Stacy Keibler or no Stacy Keibler at all?
I would rather have no Stacy Keibler at all.
I mean, they almost split her in half there.
Always get the best shots of her, don't they?
Well, as well they should. You know, my dad has not my dad. It was an old timer, but not my dad. But he's my dad's age.
Now, is your dad's age, which is my age, considered old timer?
He'd say, "Man, her legs go all the way up to her ass." Look at this interrogation room. I'm going to track it.
Interrogation room, King. Uh-oh, that don't look good. Oh. Stone Cold's got waiting on somebody, apparently. I wouldn't want to be in there with.
Are you telling me that Stone Cold is not one of the best entertainers of all time?
He is. I was thinking the same thing when he peeked through the Venetian blinds there.
I know he's not the performer Jericho is. You've told us that.
No, that's not what I said.
That is exactly what you said.
No, see, you love to twist my words around. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. You love to twist my words around, motherfucker.
I thought you were going to hit me with "you a lie."
You are a lie.
No, I'm not.
But it's common knowledge.
By the way, they're saying The Rock tried to run over Goldberg last week.
I know. I see that.
That's called wishful thinking. Here we go. We come back.
So you're not talking to me. You ain't got nothing to say? The old cat got your tongue routine? You're pleading the fifth. I know all about you. More than you think.
Where were you on June the 25th, 1989?
What's that got to do with it?
It ain't got nothing to do with anything. I just want to see if you're gonna lie to me. You little seedy bastard. You tell me something. Was that your rent-a-car that struck Bill Goldberg's car? Was it? Was it your rent-a-car? Oh man, Lance, I got ways of making you talk. Look at me. Look at me. Does it look like I'm joking? Huh? Was that you driving the gun? Was that you driving the car? This is the last time I am going to ask you, were you driving the car?
Okay, but it was an accident. The accelerator stuck. It was out of control. I swerved. I tried to miss him. I'm from Canada. We drive on the other side of the road over there. I'm not used to that. The car was out of control, Steve. It wasn't my fault.
I've been to Canada. You don't drive on the other side of the road. You trying to call me stupid?
No, I wouldn't do that. It wasn't even my idea.
So then whose idea was it, hot shot? Whose idea was it? No, never mind whose idea it was. You get your carcass out of this chair. You go to that ring and you face Bill Goldberg and you think about what you did. You make me sick. Get in the ring. Get up!
Austin was good cop and bad cop. Man, storming Goldberg. It was storming the driver of the car.
It's all right.
One of the best promos ever. Here we go.
Hunter, hey, have you seen this thing about Freddie blasting here with the...
Hunter, I need to talk to you. 6 months ago, man, you came to me one day, walking down the hall, you turned me around, you said, hey, whatever happened to Ric Flair? Whatever happened to the guy that I grew up wanting to be like? Whatever happened to him? And I didn't know, and I didn't have an answer for you. And you looked at me and you said, well, I want to see you get back on your feet. I want to see you get back, excuse the pun, in the game. I want to see you be a man again. I want to see you earn the respect of these fans that you won over each and every night of your career. You looked at me and you said, Rick, I want you to be my partner, to walk that aisle with me. I want to say that I walked with Ric Flair, not a has-been Ric Flair. And you know what? Tonight, I get my chance. And I know you got a bad back. I know you had a killer match last night. I had 1,000 matches like that. And I never, ever said I can't wrestle. I want you tonight. You might not be at your best, but you're still the game. You're the best wrestler alive today. And I want to test it. I want to find out if I still got it. And I'm going to find out. I'm not laying down anymore for anybody, anywhere. Especially in Greenville, South Carolina. Be at your best. Ric Flair is coming after Triple H. Woo! Be at your best.
Dude.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
You fired up for this main event now?
Fucking A, I am, man. You know what we're seeing in this show? We are seeing the things that have made Stone Cold and Ric Flair both great.
Absolutely. And you know, I know that you've said this a few times, but this is arguably one of the best 2 hours of wrestling of the decade here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there were other great shows, but everything on this show has told, I mean, you know, obviously you could argue, oh, well, the Rodney Mack match or whatever.
Yeah, but still had a story to it.
Absolutely. There was a story to all of it. It all fit together. and the thread of Stone Cold terrorizing Eric Bischoff and trying to figure out who hit Bill Goldberg's car. And then this whole Triple H Ric Flair thing bubbling up underneath all of it. Just really, really a special Raw.
Well, I'm having a good time, and you and I don't necessarily always have a good time watching some of this stuff. We try to make the best out of it, as you know, but we don't necessarily always have a good time, but we're having a good time here today.
Hey, appreciate you, making me look good for Mother's Day.
Oh, no problem.
Mrs. Thompson has been in search of a Peloton bike, and every time she would go to order one, they would say it was 9 weeks minimum to get one. And, she found a lady who had one for sale in Jacksonville that was quote unquote gently used. Somebody said, fuck this. And, she said, hey, how far of a drive is it to Jacksonville? And I turned thinking maybe she wants to go to the TV. No, she doesn't want to go to TV. And I'm like, what, why? Oh, there's a Peloton bike in Jacksonville, but I'm going to drive down and get it. And I'm like, hypothetically, great friend of the show, Tony Schiavone, happens to be driving a giant SUV in Jacksonville right now. And I bet you could sweet talk him and he would pick it up. And sure enough, he did. And she popped over to Atlanta, and now she has been sweating her ass off in our home gym, loving that thing. And, yeah, you made Mother's Day come true. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. I even told her, I said, I'll bring it to you. And she said, no, I need to come get it. I need to take a break. And I don't know if she was saying a break from you or not, but just need to take a break. And so she came over, we invited her into the house. She declined because I guess she didn't want to get dog hair on her.
Yeah.
And,
she was wearing all black, you know?
Right. And so Lois came out and we talked to her in the driveway for a little bit and, helped her load up the bike, and she went back to Huntsville, and it was great seeing her. And I'm glad it all just worked out perfectly.
We put that thing on a dolly and brought it down the back driveway and through the game room and got the internet going on it, and bang, bang. She was good in the home gym and sweating her ass off and loving life. And it wouldn't have been possible without Noah Anthony Schiavone coming through in the clutch for us.
And I told her, I said, is Conrad going to get on this bike? Are you going to get on the bike?
No.
Okay.
Now I do have recumbent bikes. And so, you know, since we've been quarantined, we go down there, and she liked this, it's like a Bowflex Max Trainer Ultimate, some or other.
Right.
So we've got one of those, and we had a couple of treadmills, and we've got the, what's that? The elliptical thing.
Yeah. The elliptical,
and then
right.
The Bowflex for the, you know, the one with all the weights and bands and stuff. But then we've got an upright bike, like a regular bike, and then a recumbent bike. And I usually more of the recumbent bike guy.
Right.
So I'd rock that, and she'd ride, one of those different machines, and we'd watch a little TV. But she's really got in her heart that she wants to do some of these classes and the competitive nature of it, where you're, you know, cycling along with other people. She really likes that. So she's excited, and friend of the show, Cole Keibler, he's all about it. And
what? That egghead's doing it too?
Oh, big time, man. I know a bunch of people who were like really, really hooked on it, including Howard Stern. I mean, they love it. So she's playing with that. And, that was really her low key Mother's Day gift. You know, I know her favorite, cheesecake spot in New York, and I had one of those shipped in, and I'm having I had mom come over, and we, grilled a bunch of steaks and potatoes and fed mom and her. And of course I hooked mom up with another Steven Singer rose, cause you can't have too many of those. And yeah, it was a good Mother's Day. It was low key at my house, but the thing that she was most excited about, which most people would think is a fucking rib, piece of exercise equipment. Mm-hmm. How about Jonathan Coachman with a little hair here?
Wow. How about that?
And up next, Bubba, it's our main event. Triple H and Ric Flair for the world title in Greenville, South Carolina. And I know when I first told you, hey, we're going to watch a Ric Flair match from 03, you were probably thinking, well, let's have lowered expectations. But the story, it's got to have you sucked in right now.
Yeah. You want to see, you know, are they going to switch the titles? Are they going to split? How are they going to work this out? So not knowing how it all came out, I'm like, in other words, I'm watching this for the first time, just like the fans were back in May of 2003. So
look at the pop here.
On their feet here in To me, this is like Mickey Mantle getting one more at bat in Yankee Stadium in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. Mickey Mantle's dead. Well, Ric Flair's not dead. And Mickey Mantle's legacy's not dead. And Ric Flair's legacy's not dead. And could Ric Flair be in Mobile, Alabama, where we're going to be live next Monday night as a 17th time?
God damn, JR.
He knows how to sell it, doesn't he?
God damn. Oh.
He's the greatest announcer of all time.
Of all time. And I'm telling you, he told me once, and I believe it, when he talks about football announcers.
Yeah.
He said, I can do what they do, but they can't do what I do. As far as, in other words, he can call football, but they couldn't call wrestling. And he's right, man. Fuck. Jesus. Makes your eyes water. I also want to bring up the fact that we, on an earlier episode of this program, which is in the archives, by the way, same building where Ric Flair made his triumphant return to WCW.
Absolutely. With Arn Anderson and the rest of the crew in tuxedos.
Right. So yeah, this is Flair country. All right. In many, many ways.
My uncle, I think we talked about my cousin Baby Nuts here on the show before. I think so.
Baby Nuts?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I got
I would have remembered that.
I have a cousin named Baby Nuts. And his dad is my Uncle HR. And he sent me a text this past week. He says, let JR know AEW is kicking WWE's ass on in-ring matches. I quit watching WWE match signings for the main event. I kind of hate it for Drew McIntyre. I think he could be big, good or bad guy, but AEW really needs JR right now, no matter how they do it. Let Tony do the ring interviews. JR is the Keith Jackson of wrestling. I keep waiting for Tony to say, sorry fans, our TV time is up. We'll update you next week. But JR's got to start saying, I'm about ready to stomp a mud hole and walk it dry or some shit like that. I miss the old school shit. And I screenshotted that and sent it to Jim. And he was like, he's my favorite uncle now too. Cause he loved the comparison to Keith Jackson, one of the all-time great football announcers.
Right.
And here you see, oh, look at there. Nope. Not shaking your hand today. I'm the nature boy.
I want to get into this match, but I just put a cap on this. The angle that we did with Sammy Guevara getting run over by the cart.
Yeah.
JR said, Sammy Guevara's running like a scalded dog. So he was able to get a JR-ism in, which was tremendous.
Friend of the show, Chris McDonald. You can find him on Twitter at KDog96. He did a phenomenal video where it was to the tune of Grand Theft Auto. Right. It showed Sammy Guevara when he got hit and it said wasted. And of course, AEW on TNT, they stole it and did it the very next day, but removed the machine gun icon. But
right.
Chris McDonald, man, how have you not got him a gig in wrestling? Why can't you pay it forward?
He's
Canadian.
He's Canadian. Is he going to move here? No.
Why would he have to move there? Kevin Sullivan didn't move to Atlanta.
Well, okay.
And who's that other guy who runs the whole shooting match?
Okay. Tony Khan?
No, the director.
Oh, you're talking about Keith Mitchell or Tim Walbert? Yeah.
Keith didn't move to Atlanta.
Yeah. Keith lives in Atlanta.
Exactly. He didn't have to move.
Okay.
How about Triple H rocking the purple here? This is not something he did very much in his career, usually opting to wear the black, but he did try a purple here. And a lot of fans are like, what the fuck's he doing? It's a nod to Harley Race, guys. Come on.
So,
and he's the king of kings. Purple.
Yeah. He's got his, I'm sure there's a story with the ribs taped up here.
Yeah. We just saw Kevin Nash powerbomb him through the announcer's desk yesterday, the night before.
Right.
On pay-per-view at Judgment Day 03.
Mm-hmm. I saw, as we were talking, I saw somebody go through a table. I didn't pay attention as to who it was.
How about Flair at his advanced age with a standing suplex like that?
Maybe he's advanced age, but he looks pretty good here.
No, he does.
Yeah.
I think you could argue like 02, 03 Flair, he still looked, he was the man.
It's hard to believe in many ways, that 02 and 03 like 18 years ago.
No shit.
Yeah. Because it seemed when you say 02, anything past the year 2000, you think is like right now, but man, it's a long time ago, buddy.
I mean, we just saw Chris Jericho, to your point, a few minutes ago, and this was nearly 17 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still on TV every week.
Yeah.
And it's not like he had just started here. He'd been wrestling for a fucking decade here.
Sure.
I wonder if Jericho used to be one of those guys saying, man, these old timers need to get out of the way and let the young guys have a shot at the top spot. This is bullshit.
You know what? I have a feeling that he may not have said it, but I have a feeling that there's always been that thought through wrestling, at least back in the day. He may have thought it. I'm not putting words in his mouth or anything like that.
Oh, I'm not either. I've never had a conversation with him about it. I don't remember ever reading that he said anything like that. I'm just saying.
He would never say anything like that, but I'm sure that most young guys have thought that once in a while.
And then you find yourself in that position, and you would be hard pressed to say that. I mean, it's impossible to say, in fact, that Jericho's presence in AEW has hurt the company. It's helped it in every way. And look at Ric Flair going up top and hitting the move. He hit it. Can you believe it?
Tremendous.
How many times did you see him go do that same spot and get thrown off the top?
Right.
But Triple H let him hit it.
Great booking. Usually he jumps up, they grab him, he shakes his head no. They send him down, he lands on his side, and he begs off, but not this time.
I feel bad because we're talking over some great commentary. I'm going to track a few minutes of it.
Okay, please.
And you know what's coming. You know what Flair's sitting to lift up to it. Don't tell me Mickey Mantle's going to hit a home run. Come back from the grave and hit a home run. Get up, Triple H. That is a roar from the crowd. That kid's feeling whittle-diddling. He racks son of a gun. Figure four. And he's got it locked. Figure four is locked. He was a long way from the ropes. Flair's got the figure four. And Triple H has got two chances to give up and lose the title. Or get to the ropes and step that leg. Triple H is just now realizing, without a doubt, Flair is stabbing Triple H in the back. Oh, the hell he is. World Championship. Triple H he's got the ropes out of desperation. But you got to wonder how much damage has been done to the legs of Triple H, who's crawling almost in a fetal position into the corner. And Flair right back to the legs as Triple H fights out of desperation. Hard knife edge. Another knife edge. Triple H's chest is getting deep red. And they caught Flair walking in with a thunderous.
Dude, how great is Jim Ross?
Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm sitting here watching this thing like a freaking mark. Was what I am. We all are, but Jesus.
I mean, the performance that they're doing is tremendous, but Jim Ross takes it to another level. And I think it's often been explained in wrestling that these guys are making the music and the announcers are providing the lyrics. Holy shit, is Jim Ross singing all the right words right now?
He needs to. I'm going to get in touch with him as soon as we're done. He needs to go back and listen to this.
Dude, it's outstanding.
And remember what he used to do. It's a different dynamic now. I get it, but I mean, it's, you know,
thumb to the eye.
Yeah. You feed off the crowd as an announcer too. And there's no crowd. Woo-hoo, yikes.
You can't, he's the dirtiest player in the game for a reason. Teasing the belt shot. No, fuck that. How about a thumb to the eye, kick to the ding ding. Then I hit you with the belt. Can't outsmart me. I've been cheating since you were itch in your daddy's drawers. Here we go. Let's track it.
Just motionless. It's going to be over. There it is. It's going to happen. No. 2, 3. Oh, God, how close. Did he win? A half a count. A half a second. A heartbeat is all that was away from Flair becoming the world's heavyweight champion. Does Flair think he won? Flair's got this crowd behind him. The legendary veteran. And there he's got a little figure four. Triple H kicked out of it. He kicked Flair right into the corner, face first, into the top turnbuckle. And now, over Triple H. Yes, come on. Whoa, no. Flair with a back body drop. Where's Flair getting getting this from? Out of the pedigree, these fans. Ric Flair's desire as well to win. Triple H now countered Flair and back dropped him again. Come on, Triple H. Downstairs goes the 10th. And wait, he's trying to
Look at him doing. He got him. He got him.
Triple H nailed the pedigree out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. The hook of the leg.
Yes.
And the game has defeated Ric Flair. What a match.
There is no joy in Buckville.
What do you think, man?
One of the best shows I've seen ever.
So good, dude. I'm really glad that you liked it. I know sometimes you make fun of me when I get so excited that we're going to cover something, but this has been something I wanted to watch with you for a long time. One of the more underrated Raws ever. It's been nicknamed A Night in Greenville, May 19th, 2003. If you had a chance to listen to the show today, but you didn't get a chance to watch along, you've got to go see the series of backstage promos and vignettes, but then of course the main event, the match itself. And just in case you're wondering, I know we're not tracking it right now, but he's teasing that, hey, you got Kevin Nash, Houston, Texas at the next pay-per-view, June 15th. So that's the big announcement. We continue the storyline of what's next, but dude, such great stuff.
Man, I'm loving this. Thank you very much.
Next week, we're doing something totally different. It's May 22nd, 2000. This episode of Monday Nitro features the Flair funeral. That's right. A funeral for the Nature Boy. It's next week on WHW Monday. But for this week, Tony, it looks like it's about that time.
And right now we're watching Kevin Nash look at Triple H in the ring, and you see everything go to black. WWF at that time, entertainment. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great Mother's Day. We want to remind you not to eat a lobster tail and always stay on your Peloton. And by the way, COVID-19 is going to be pinned by Chris Jericho in the ring one day, and we'll all be over this. For Conrad Thompson, I'm Tony Schiavone. We're desperately out of time. See you next time on What Happened When on Westwood One. We are also on ad-free shows, and we're also on
Patreon. Patreon.com/WHW Monday. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.